Good evening. My name is Stella Jones, and I bring you greetings from AACPG Lake County, the African American Community Partnership Group, dedicated to addressing health disparities in the African American community. It is a grassroots organization partnering with other organizations and individuals committed to and passionate about removing barriers to health. The co-chairs of AACPG are Demetrius Willis and Gail Graves. Under the umbrella of AACPG was created self-care. Under self-care, we decided to talk about how we can make our health good and better. So out of that group, tonight's topic, let's talk about hair. So since we talked about hair on February the 10th, let's talk some more about hair. You may follow AACPG Lake County on Instagram and Facebook. So tonight, I want to introduce my panel. The panel is going to be Corliss Ivy. She's a licensed clinical professional counselor. She's a certified mental health integrative medicine provider. She's also has 15 years of experience helping people explore what is most meaningful to them and how to build their lives around those kind of ideas. Corliss is the founder of Core Mental Wellness, LLC, a clinical mental health private practice. And I think that is just awesome. Her broad-based professional background includes clinical and leadership positions in healthcare. Her expertise on the emotional impact of cancer and side effects has been featured in Cancer Thrive and Cure Today. And I needed her some time back myself on that very topic. So she's also deeply passionate about utilizing psychoeducation and integrative modalities to support community wellness. And that's why she's here tonight, because she cares about her community. We also have Sonia Turner. Sonia Turner, before it was even popular to wear natural hair, Sonia was a trailblazer, and she became trendy in this area, beginning at least 28 years ago. Sonia would always receive questions from other women about her hair and how she cared about her hair. So in the month of February 2010, and guess what we are, 2021, in February again, we're gonna talk about some hair with Miss Sonia. So Sonia held her first natural hair fellowship meet and greet with two of her dear friends. Out of that was birthed Natural Ladies of Lake County. Wouldn't you hear about it? So we're gonna talk about that a little bit more. We're gonna let her talk about that. But also, Sonia has been married to the love of her life, Keith E. Turner, for over 20 years. They are motorcycle enthusiasts. And guess what her motorcycle name is? That's right, Lady Natural. We also have with us Rhoda Woolford. Rhoda has been a lifelong resident of Lake County. She attended Waukegan West High School, Go Bulldogs. And during her sophomore year, she went through a vocational program. So Rhoda has had business on her mind for a long time. So she had a vision and she worked that vision. She graduated in 1982. She went on to Waukegan School Cosmetology and she received her license there. So Sonia has been working with her, the community for quite some time as well. She's been dedicated to profession of making women look good and feel better. So all right, ladies, we are going to talk a little bit some more about hair. So on February 10th, we had a dynamic panel, including Dr. Lisa Atberry, and she was called the Hair Doctor from Memphis, Tennessee. And boy, did she work this. So as we talked about women's hair, we know that women's hair are their glory. We also know that women put a lot of work and a lot of stock in hair. Everything about us is about our hair. What we wear, how we're going to put our outfits together, it has to match the hair. But most of all, it has to be about your attitude. So Corliss, we're going to talk to you just a little bit. Because of women take their hair very serious. Some of them to the point of complete frustration and despair, which they shouldn't, but I understand that because we take our hair very serious. So we need some words of encouragement or advice on how we can handle unexpected changes in our lives like this COVID. So many of you all have saw the YouTube video here lately of the little girl that says she was so ugly. You know, the young lady was fixing her hair. And, you know, this little girl, you know, she already feels so passionate about her hair. And so, you know, for her to think this young that she was ugly. So, you know, and that hasn't grown out of us. That's who we are, even as women. And sometimes if our hair is not just the way we think it ought to be, we think we're ugly. So we wanted to talk a little bit about that and give you some encouragement.
Absolutely. Thank you, Stella, for this wonderful opportunity. And thank you for that question. I'm going to have a very human moment. When I saw that video for the first time, I think it's been at least 11 months ago, my soul was hurt. I wanted to reach through the computer. I wanted to hug her. I wanted to kiss her. I just wanted to comfort her somehow, because it breaks your heart. And I think the part that really hit me is she doesn't even realize that what she said was so hurtful against herself. It was kind of a reflective moment looking in the mirror. It wasn't until the hairstylist said, "Oh, you shouldn't say that she realized, what did I say?" And she looked at herself again, and the tears just began to flow. She was emoting. I'm crying with her. And then I had to check my righteous indignation, because I found myself getting angry. Who told this child that she was ugly? Like I got angry, and I had to take a step back to say, okay, wait a minute, you know, pump the brakes. This is a reflection. This is the fruit of decades of conditioning, of our, you know, the intrinsic messages that tell us we are not valuable. We have to hustle for our worthiness. Anything special about us is conditional upon what we may look like, how we may function, what we do for somebody else. And then it even hit closer to home. The little girl is close in age to my own daughter, who was 3 going on 4 at the time. And I just remember, I went natural for my daughter before she was even here in my fertility struggle. But I kept thinking, despite all the books, all the love, all the nurturing, even my own child has questions about something is wrong. I recognize that I'm different. Why can't I just look like this? And it just tears at the heart. So that's there. And I want to hold space for it. I want to grieve it. We want to know about it. But I also want to cloak myself in hope. Organizations like Black Girl Curls, Curly Nikki, Rhoda and Sonia, who are going to give us some feedback, they're here to educate us and support us in this journey. It was so providential driving home to this discussion on Heart and Soul Radio. NDRE's I Am Not My Hair came on. It was just providential. I'm hollering in the car. I know I look crazy, but it was so important, because we have to keep that in mind. Beauty is critical to us. Feeling healthy, our sense of dignity is at the core of how we present ourselves to the world, but hair is not everything at all. And thank God that we're seeing some of these organizations, professionals show us whether you're curly, kinky, straight, a mix of all of them, and you change it up. If you shave it off, we're beautiful. And that's, I think, where we're driving right now, is we're in a space where it's time to refocus and say how beautiful we are, how worthy we are, no matter how we look. So long roundabout answer to get to that place.
So you said something very, very profound. You said hair is not everything.
Yes.
And because you are that clinical psychologist that talk to cancer patients. When I was going through, and when the doctor told me, he said, you need to shave your head. I had hair full of hair. Head full of hair. He says you need to shave your hair, because it's going to be profound that your hair is going to come out and it's going to be on your pillow when you wake up in the morning.
Yes.
Different mornings after I go through these different treatments. And he says, so I would just suggest that you just shave it off. So I did. And so as I shaved it off, and you go through this period, and you're going to the cancer treatment and the cancer center, and all of these people are there with, no hair. All of us are there with no hair. And then everyone is feeling we feel this loss of hair, and everything is put into our hair.
Mhm.
And so when it was over with or about over with, I began to understand. I began to, not decide. I decided right then I'm not going back to hair because I don't want to put all of my stock into hair. And
Yes.
I want to profound statement to other women and encourage them that if you find yourself in this position where you lose all of your hair, I don't want you to put all of your stock in your hair.
Yes.
And please, ladies, I love your hair. I know you do. I did, but I gave it up because I want to encourage someone else that, that I'll take this journey with you with no hair. And we'll work this thing together. I put on some makeup, I'm putting up some long ears, some big earrings. All right, okay. Sense. Hello, absolutely. I go to the barber shop about 20 minutes, I'm out. I love this now. Yep. So, Sonia, my understanding is that you started a group centered around women with natural hair. Can you share with us a little bit about that group and how you all got started?
Right. I have been natural for a while. And I would get different comments from women. Wow, I like your hair natural. I'd go natural if I had pretty hair like you, good hair like you, or I would, I'm too nappy to go natural, or, I don't even know where to begin. And so February 5th, 2010, I had been hearing this for years. So I said, you know what, let me just try something. And I sent out some invitations to some women that I knew, and they invited women that they knew. And we had our first meet and greet at Potestas in 2010. And from that came two dear friends, L'Oreal Tolbert and Venus Duncan. And we kind of got together because, the decision to go natural, it's not an easy decision for sisters, and I'm just being honest. Yes. Not that we put so much value in our hair, but we don't even know where the journey begins. And the group was formed to provide that education because when I started years ago, there were no Black products. Okay, it was water and olive oil for me. Okay. And so that's what I did. But then we got together to support women, to encourage them, to let them know, that their beauty is from within, but to also remind them that, you talk about good hair. Well, if you tell that to a woman who's dealing with alopecia, or somebody who has to cut their hair secondary to medical issues, any hair on your head is good. Okay. So, and we would get together and just have so much fun. When I think about it, people would always say, well, why don't you guys charge? It was never about monetary. We gave away more than we made, because in this industry now, you can buy products for $5 or $60. The price point is from one end to the other. Yeah, and absolutely. By no means is the $60 product any better than the $5 product. It's learning how to use it on your hair, as well as, different people will promise, oh, if you use this product, you'll have curls like this. And my hair is super thick. So something like, rice oil would not work on my hair. Or someone with thin hair, something heavy like olive oil might be just a little bit too much. So it would weigh their hairs down. So we were really into educating, as well as, the correlation between Black women and fibromyalgia. And the L'Oreal Tolbert, who was the science part of our group, did this research that more Black women that had perms, relaxers, ended up with fibromyalgia. And so we would just have these different types of discussions and raffles, and we would just have fun. And I want to say 2011 or 2012, I invited some of the ladies that go to the group with to go with us to the Tahala Waji's natural hair show, World Natural Hair Show in Atlanta. And she's been doing it for over 25 years. And it's so interesting when she first started, when I first was going, you see twos and fews. But when this movement took on, I mean, it is overpowered. You know, there are women, and it's interesting and fulfilling to see, because we come in a rainbow of colors.
Absolutely.
To see us, you know, all of us in our naturalness and our beauty from one end of the rainbow to the next, just gloried in our beauty. It was just so much fun and excitement. So yeah, that was the birth of the group. And
That'd be
Yeah.
fun.
Stella, can I respond to Sonia really quickly? There was something that you said that was so golden, and I don't know that we talk about it enough culturally, but just the idea of knowing where to start. So many of us have spent decades relaxed. How do we even start? And it's overwhelming, like you said, and now there are products everywhere. I mean, marketers have gotten smart, right? They've kind of boxed us into this category range to sell us products, and it doesn't take into account, like you were saying, coarseness, texture. If we are in an environment with hard minerals, and if we work out quite a bit, that it doesn't take that into account. So it's blessing me to hear you just talk about those nuances. So I
absolutely. And when you think about it, I have a girlfriend that's a chemist with Mazani, no, Caracare, I think it was. And one of the things that she was saying is they were in a board meeting one day, and someone said, hey, we don't have any of this natural hair stuff. We need to get on board with this. And I think what people forget is that Black women, we're an economic power force. Do you hear me? We spend billions of dollars. Yes. And we need to be putting that back in our community. And so, ergo, you see now a lot of Black owned hair care products. And still, they're not all for us, but still those that we can use, let's support them. I'm telling you, you'd be surprised. They don't want anything from us, but they'll take our dollars any day.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just interesting to to help women navigate, that natural path.
Absolutely. Do me a favor. Define alopecia. Let's not assume everybody knows what
Alopecia
that
is baldness. Go ahead, Rhoda. You want to do? Go ahead, Rhoda.
Alopecia is a condition of the hair and scalp. It can be universal, meaning all over the body, or it can be just in certain areas of the head. It comes from heredity. It can come from an autoimmune deficiency, but most of it is heredity. Just like acne, just like a lot of other genetic traits that can come from back lineage. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, with the products, that is, just springboarding off of what Sonia was saying, that there is a lot of different products that are available for African American hair or hair texture. And it is a journey. Having natural hair is not just a hairstyle, it is a lifestyle.
Yes.
And it comes with a whole gamut of things. I have a lot of clients come in and say, oh yeah, I want my hair to be natural. And I'm like, do you realize what you're doing? This is a whole transition.
Exactly.
It's just not your hairstyle, it's a lifestyle. And it's gonna take some time,
Yes.
Even with my hair, the whole reason why I put braids in is to get it to grow out gray. And of course, when I saw that gray, it scared the hell out of me, and I ended up putting color back in it. So I'm starting over. That's the reason why I'm back in the braids. I cut it halfway down so I can grow it out gray, because that's my journey. I'm just wanting something different, to grow into my wisdom. But as far as the hair products that are on the market now, you have to be careful, because there's a lot of dimethicones that are in products that are bad for the skin.
Yes.
Not actually supposed to be even on the hair and scalp.
Amen.
And you have to understand that a lot of the FDA is not really testing a lot of these things. There's two products, the main products on the market that we all use is lipstick and shampoo are not regulated by the FDA. So with that being said, you have to really be careful what you put in and on your body. I've been a person that would rather use whatever I can use on my skin, being that I have sensitive skin. If I can use it, then I trust it on other people. You know, I'm not the over-the-counter person, but if there is something over-the-counter that works, I don't knock it. But yeah, it is a lifestyle.
It is.
So you're in the beauty shop every day. So what are women asking for now? What type of styles are they asking for now that we're in COVID? Because my thought is that, you know, if I had my perm hair right now, if I was still doing the perm hair, you know, that those styles we used to have to sleep like this here, that they were so whatever. I'm wondering, are women still getting those, or are we, you know, asking for some simple styles so, you know, I can kind of take care of it now?
Well, during the COVID, it has its moments. It has its spurts of busyness, and then it has its spurts of not being busy. I think a lot of people are gauging what the news and the media is saying in order for them to come in. I follow all the protocols. I've had several COVID tests. I've been negative in every one. I try to make sure that I double mask when I'm around my clients. But it's just something that they got to get out of the fear. I think it's going to change once the weather changes and people start really looking at themselves in the mirror and be like, you know what, I really need to get to the shop, you know. So that being said, I think most of my clients, they come in to me for hair care, you know, for restoration. I'm a hairstylist. I love cutting, styling, perming. I do a lot of natural styles, braids, pretty much a well-rounded career in this industry. But what I notice now with the COVID, a lot of women are just letting it go, letting it grow out, letting whatever happens. And then when the sun rises again, they'll be up in my chair trying to help them make a decision. But there's been times with women that have wanted to transition out of natural hair. And I find a lot of things that I can offer them to where they're not using a lot of heat, or they can do the big chop. It just depends on what their heart is ready for, because it is a lifestyle change. Once you do the big chop, and that's just what it is, the big chop. In order for it to be long again, you will be adding somebody else's hair. So if you want to make that transition, I think you have to pray about it, because that's something that really comes with the whole overall change and recreating yourself, is to really focus and reflect and look inside and see what works for you. Because you get people come in here wanting certain hairstyles and they don't even fit their lifestyle. And they're like, oh girl, I didn't like that because it was, you know. And I was like, well, I told you that you should pick this because it's more for your lifestyle. You want to be in my chair every 2 weeks, and hey, I'm not gonna argue, but I'm trying to give you something that's gonna save you money. You know, now with natural hair, it can be quite expensive. It's pricey. It varies between textures, lengths, density, you know. So when it comes to a price range, it really comes with a good consultation. So everybody's on the same page, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of styles. You can rod it, you can do spiral, you can do a straw set. I've done scrunches, I've done 2-strand twists. It's a lot of things you can do.
There, you got some definitions I've never heard of. Hello. This was, I'm not doing that. But our listening audience, someone said the natural hairstyle is definitely a lifestyle. And
Yes,
they agree
it
with you all 100%. This is a lifestyle. You know, you don't get it and then say, okay, then next week I can change my mind. It's just not quite that easy. Someone else said, yes, COVID has been humbling. It's we're learning to do more with less. Definitely. So I'm hoping that we can learn to do a lot more for ourselves, as well as, and by all means not panic. That you know, we kind of panicked when this thing, you know, took us by surprise and stuff like this. So I have Miss Lucretia. She said, I did the big chop. 2 textures with my blood pressure.
Yes, that big chop work.
Oh my goodness.
And I replied right behind her, said, same. I felt the same. It was just too much. And it's so interesting because people were saying, you can do 2, it'll be fine. I couldn't handle the relaxed hair and my natural texture coming underneath. But I was overjoyed seeing my texture. I really didn't know what my texture was.
Absolutely.
I've been relaxed for so long.
And we don't. I know I got my relaxed hair back in, well, okay, it doesn't matter. Let me see. Probably the early 80s, if that. I I think early 80s, because everyone had gone, what do you say? Everyone had gone with the perms. I was still pressing my hair, girls. I was still pressing my hair every week or 2 weeks or whatever it was. And so then I was like, I'm not a person. I don't run with the trends. I don't do that. So I didn't know what a perm was going to be. So I'm not rushing out here and getting a perm. And so then I finally did, and I had the worst experience because, you know, as you said, we trust our hair to you hairstylists. We do. And I didn't know that you didn't know to, you know, how to make sure I have oil very well before you put that perm in there and burn me and burn my whole scalp and all that kind of stuff. And I had a kind of sensitive scalp when it came to that, I guess. And I went through it. So, and I stayed with it, and just one person burned me like that. And then I learned how to do my own perms, and I knew how to do not scratch before. And I learned all of that.
Drink a lot of water. Appointment, at least for, I always tell my clients before they get their relaxers, at least have 2 days worth of hydration, you know, because your scalp can get very dehydrated. So if you're trying to, you know, go into any chemical service, whether it's a relaxer or color or foils or whatever, always hydrate at least 72 hours before your perm. And that can come with the basing. A lot of these perms now come with the built-in base. So that's why you find a lot of stylists, when you sit down, they won't base you throughout, they just base your edges. So it just depends on the person that's actually putting the relaxer in. The relaxer doesn't break their hair. It's the person that's applying and how much knowledge they have and what they're doing to it, you know?
So you all be careful throwing these terms around. I'm sorry. We have to define some stuff around here, some of this stuff. So just don't say it. Then assume we know what you're saying. Vicky McKinney said, please show love and kindness when approached by someone looking for natural hair support. When someone comes in your shop looking for natural hair support, she says, show love and kindness. She said, my hair is fine, it's great, and it has various textures. And I guess maybe some people do have that throughout their hair. You don't have just the same texture all over.
In the natural hair, I'm sorry. Yeah. No. When you have natural hair, you can have different grades on the side, in the back, and in the front. And that's just the way that it is. You can have different grades. Yep.
So I hate that Vicky said she got to figure this out on her own, because she received some real energy approaching a few chairs trying to go to the beauty shop and wanting to do the natural thing. You know, maybe some people were not conducive to that as they should have been. You know, whatever you want. And I love what you said, Rhoda, that yes, you're in the business for money, but at the same time, I would prefer to work with you and try to, you know, be a person that care about you as a client and not just my hair. You know, and what I can make off of you, because I did the same thing when it came to insurance. I sold insurance. If I couldn't sell you insurance that benefited you, I wasn't looking for something that just benefited me, and I'm selling something. I want to see what's going to benefit you. And guess what? I'm going to keep you as a client in the long run anyway. Yes. You know, so yeah.
Absolutely.
But Sonia,
yes.
We were told that to maintain good, healthy hair, and you kind of, Sonia touched on it, we need to moisturize on a regular basis. What tips can you share for moisturizing? Like what kind of products and stuff like that? Now, I had to bring my African Pride. That's what I moisturize with. Hello. I'm just saying, I don't know anything else. I put a little bit of that on here, and that's my moisture. Right. So is that good or bad? Is that right or wrong? Help me out.
Well, you know what? For us naturals, now I can only speak from my 20-something years of experience. I'm not a licensed cosmetologist, but I can speak to what the research that I've done and for what has worked for me. And if you recall what Dr. Agberry said, to moisturize our hair, it has to be a water-based product. Water is what hydrates our hair and provides the moisture. One of the things that I would often teach the ladies is when you're looking at a product, if the first 3 ingredients aren't water, then it's not a moisturizer for you. Okay. I would, you know, there are tons of black hair care, Eden's, Michelle, Kinky Curly, oh my gosh, Design Essentials is Black owned. There are so many that you can go now to Target and Walmart and just pull it off the shelf. And if you're looking for a moisturizer, check those first 3 ingredients in shampoo, in conditioners, and leave-ins. Check those first 3 ingredients. If it's telling you it's water-based and water is number 25 in the ingredient, then it's not water-based. It's not water-based. So, water.
That is true. And there's other products that are good for moisture. Water is one of the main things that is naturally a moisturizer. But when you go into a moisturizer for certain textures of hair, I got 4C hair, so I can wear these braids to the end of time and it's not gonna break. I just draw up this small when it's time to take them out. But what I use for my moisture after I shampoo, I use jojoba oil. And just natural jojoba oil and water. It tends to, jojoba oil is like basically the closest you're gonna get to your natural sebum in the oils in your hair. So when you use that actually transfer moisture to your hair shaft along with the water. I mean, water and oil does separate, but one thing about the jojoba oil is small enough molecule to where it's gonna really deep penetrate the hair, and it goes inside. Now with me and my hair, I'm a water and wax girl. I do the artesian beeswax. I twist it. It works fine. It seals it up. It keeps it from swelling in between services. That works for me. But just like Sonia said, it's a journey. You have to find what works for you. You'll go through 199 products and one might work.
Thousands of dollars.
Yes, thousands of dollars being spent in the industry when most of the time you lean towards more natural ingredients, you'll get better results. I'll go back to the old school plan, the blueprint of my mother did what my mama's mama did, and it worked.
Okay. Corliss, you're probably going to answer this from experience, but I'm going to go to Sonia and ask her. Someone said, my gray hair is thinning. She said, when I last washed it, she said it locked. Can anyone tell her why it just locked? She said she got thin hair, but when I last washed it, it just locked on its own. What happened?
I'm not sure, because you know what? When we're shampooing our hair, one of the things that I always teach, when your hair is natural, we can't do our hair like this.
Yeah, you gotta.
Okay, because you're gonna tangle up your hair. Okay, it's gonna tangle. Right. And I always encourage women to do their hair in sections. Just do your hair in sections. And one of the beautiful things about doing your hair at home is that you're at home. So 4 hours at home is not like 4 hours in the shop. I'm sorry. No shade, Rhoda. But it's 4 hours at home. You can go downstairs, throw a load of laundry in, come back up. And so you can take your time and get to know your hair and finger detangle and, use a wide tooth shampoo comb and just love on your hair and take your time. But if you are agitating your hair like this, it will lock up. I promise. It will tangle up like that. Corliss?
I was going to jump in. So you're absolutely right. I have learned from experience. The Tangle Teezer is the comb that the Lord has blessed us with. Tangle Teezer. So my daughter and I have similar hair textures, and she has little tight ringlets in her hair. Mm-hmm. But if I don't detangle, which is a struggle, it's a struggle. We're following a few people on YouTube to help us with this. Her little couple pieces will lock up. And I've had to cut out locks. It's a journey. We're learning. Yes, but the Tangle Teezer. There's another one. It's the
Denman brush. The Denman brush.
Denman brush. And there's the Featherwood. What is her name? Oh,
that's the Denman comb that she's showing you.
Yes, but what's the Featherwood lady? Someone, I'm gonna find it.
Felicia Featherwood.
Yes, that's another one that's been helpful to me.
I would recommend purchasing hers because she's a Black woman. She's an African American woman.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Rhoda, do that again. You
show the Tangle Teezer comb.
Okay.
It's got 3 smooth teeth. This works really good taking out extensions, shampooing the hair. Then you got them little whiny babies that can't really go through combing that root out. Magic wand right here.
It is. It is.
Now,
It is.
the question about the lady that said her hair tangles, there is sometimes you can get certain shampoos that are different in pH that will actually open and blow the cuticle open and cause it to actual tangle. Now, I don't know who she is or what type of texture she has, but it sounds like she has fine hair that's not very coarse, but it's just kind of a wavy texture. When you use that kind of pH, if you use any kind of purifying shampoo, such as over-the-counters, even the purification professional shampoos, you always have to follow it up with a conditioning shampoo because it strips everything. It's stripping all the oils, it's stripping the moisture out. So if that's what she's doing and not following up with a pH balanced shampoo or moisturizer or conditioner, then it is going to lock up. And again, it's improper shampooing too. Like she said, you can't go in like you rubbing a rug. You gotta, like you washing pantyhose instead, or your lingerie.
Yes.
And I'm sure back in my day, as I call it, when I had that kind of hair, when I had a lot of hair and trying to detangle all that stuff, they didn't have that kind of comb when I was coming along. It was just a comb that's in a single comb. And that, no.
Absolutely.
And I've never been taught not to do this when I'm washing. And you know, that's all we know. And wait a minute, I don't remember ever going to the beauty shop and they didn't do that. But now a lot of time I do remember them kind of going back like this a little bit because my head is to the back, right? So they're doing this with it, but no, they still did a lot of that. So yeah, you tangle it.
Yeah, you can manipulate the scalp and shampoo the scalp, but it's a certain way you have to go underneath and wash just the scalp. You're not like just smushing the hair and like rolling it up. Because if I did that, I'm gonna be in trouble.
Yeah.
If I did mine like that.
Okay, we have a question from the audience. Ms. Moore, Denise Moore has a question. She said, when we have less hair manipulation, does that tend to let your hair grow faster?
Yeah, let me just say from my experience and what I've taught the ladies, our hair grow down to our butt, okay? As we all saw with Kim Woods, okay, who's been to a couple of our events. If our hair grows out from our scalp and how we take care of our body and the nutrients that we put in our,
absolutely.
and if we have low manipulation styles like braids like Rhoda has, like plaits like I have right now, when we have our hair in styles that are low manipulation, our hair will grow. That myth that black hair don't grow is a lie. It's a myth. Our hair will grow. But you have to have a good regimen, weekly shampoo, deep condition, purifying, getting rid of the buildup in the hair, making sure that you have the right kind of products in your hair and taking time and doing your hair and not being in a hurry. Your hair will grow. I'm not being funny to your butt. Your hair will grow. You just have to be patient. And number one, don't compare your hair to somebody else's.
That's it.
Because we all can have hair envy. My hair never grew down this way. My hair grew out this way. And if people are looking at me and they see me now, they're surprised that my hair is this short because I took a chance and let somebody do it for me. And let's just say it wasn't a pleasant experience and I had to get it all cut off, which is I'm fine with it because it's hair, but our hair will grow.
Okay,
it's a
purifier.
Resource.
Like what Rhoda was talking about, there are certain shampoos that are just for purifying, removing oils and buildup in our hair. And I'm trying to think, there's a peppermint purifying shampoo that is by the black company Eden's. That's one that you can get at Walmart, and you use it, but right after you use it, you have to make sure, as Rhoda said, you put some kind of moisturizing condition to bring your hair back up. Because just like, when you have a relaxer and you can over perm your hair, you can put too much protein in your hair as a natural, and your hair is limp and it doesn't do anything. Or you can have not enough protein in your hair and not enough moisture, and your hair is hard as a natural. And so you're wondering why my hair isn't maintaining any moisture. And that's a whole nother story. But then you got low porosity, high porosity, medium porosity, a whole bunch of other stuff. But there's a whole lifestyle to this thing called natural hair. And one of the things that I'm excited about is that now there's more information for ladies to get. Unlike when I went, I'm just like doing this thing on my own. I mean, 2-strand twist and water and olive oil.
That's funny you say water and olive oil. I've used olive oil on my hair and it's not enough. I need a little bit more weight. The jojoba oil tends to work pretty good on my hair, but I kind of do a little mixture with that and a little wax for myself. I have sensitive skin, so I really can't use a lot of high perfume type base products. So that was one of the things that made me get away from a lot of over-the-counter products. Anytime you have a product with a lot of fragrance, it's going to have an alcohol content, which is going to actually build up on the hair after long periods of time and dry it out. Now, let's get on the subject about this sulfur-free shampoos. Everybody knows that sulfur is a main building block of black hair or any hair texture. That's one of the main protein bonds that are actually in human hair. So when they start taking out the sulfates in certain products, that tends to take out that link that helps restore our strength of our hair. That's good. Some people are allergic to sulfur, so you really can't gravitate everybody to that realm. There's other things that can be added to help your hair to grow. But yeah, sulfate-free shampoos, it's ran its course. I mean, there's a lot of things that I think we should do research on with the sulfates. There is certain sulfates that are in products that aren't supposed to be on human hair or body. But there is certain sulfates that can be used. Now the question is, which ones are they dumping in shampoos? Once again, they don't regulate. So that's why you have to be careful. So that's one reason why we should be more conscious about the sulfate shampoos. Like you said, read your ingredients. That's your main thing, because you can fall into like the girl with the Gorilla Glue. I don't know if she knew how to read.
Okay, that would take a whole lot of a whole nother thing.
Yeah, so
we have to do a whole nother show on that. But let me stop right here.
Ingredients. It might have had two things in that ingredients in the same thing, but being that they were mixed, they not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be careful. It's a journey. Just be careful using different products. Do your research. See what the other people, when they chime in, if it worked, if it broke them out. Just like the lady today on the news with her little girl made the product. I don't know if anyone's seen that on the news today.
I did.
Where she got this product line out and it's booming, and it's all natural. It's like a black soap shampoo, and she does a lot of she's on the news. You'll see it tonight. I'm sure they'll show it 100 times before everybody go to bed tonight. But it's really inspiring to know that the young lady's mom made her a product that actually works, and she's making it work for everyone.
Okay, I have two serious questions we need to get to. And one is, we want to talk about hair loss. A lot of women lose their hair. Now, and a lot of them lose it because they're taking medications. So I don't know, is there something I can do? Like if I'm taking a medication and my hair is being lost and coming out, is there something I can kind of do during that period and I still have to take that medication to stop the hair loss, or whatever the case may be, or to slow the hair loss down?
My experience is, so your hair has to go through the process, but two products that women always tell me that always works for them. First, you may need a decent haircut, okay? And then once you get that decent haircut, because the ends of our hair is the oldest part of our hair. And if you're trying to hold on to something that is no good, all it's going to do is split all the way. Like you take a string and it just splits all the way up the middle. But you get a decent haircut, and then you start using either cold compressed castor oil or the black Jamaican castor oil. Now, not all black Jamaican castor oil is created equal, because you have that that stuff that they sell in Sally's, and you read the ingredients, and then the last thing is the
castor oil.
The castor oil, and you got all these other chemicals in it. But the black Jamaican castor oil, get that, and then the cold compressed castor oil is a little has a real thick viscosity.
Yeah,
you can mix it with jojoba oil, or you can mix it with olive oil, and you can just massage it in your scalp. But the main thing is get you a cut that you can be comfortable with, and accessorize.
Yeah, I think that's good to do. I've had clients that had chemo. I got one now that's just going through her first phase of getting her chemo treatments. And we haven't got her to the point where she has to shave off all her hair, but it's something that she has to do. In the meantime, not a doctor, so I can't say what should be done internally, but from my own experiences, just having some hair loss minus the chemo, and I've never had cancer, thank God. But it just in the realm of doing hair for other people, I noticed that the first thing they don't want is chemicals. So what I try to do is give them a vegan-based treatment, all vegan-based shampoos, no phosphates, no sulfates, any of that. Because you do have those people, like I got a lot of vegan clients that don't want no animal fats, no animal proteins on their hair, which I'm right there with them when it comes to that. But there is some products that have to have some synthetics in it in order for it to work, so that's something that has to be discussed between you and your client. If they want certain products on there, you have to break it down. Like, if you have sensitive skin, you have to go through a certain kind of client profile, because this is something that they're carrying with them from now on. And if your trademark is on there and they breaking out and got ball patch and none of that, it's like, okay, So the main thing you want to do is just kind of keep your diet, drink plenty of water, caffeine, try to cut back on that, take some collagen works, B complex works. These are the things that are building blocks for the hair. I always tell my clients, take your vitamins, take your alphabet, your A, your E, B, your C and your D vitamins. Those things are important, so that, along with going through the process of whatever medications they give you, those are things that can also help down the road.
Okay, I have a question.
From the inside out, it starts from the inside.
Absolutely. I have a question from the audience, from the listening audience. Ms. Banks says she has a question. Are you aware of the connection between chemical relaxers, and fibroid uterine tumors, and ultimately hysterectomies?
Yeah, that's one of the topics that we covered in one of our meetups. And there is a strong correlation to it. A lot of young Black women have fibroids secondary to having, relaxers.
Yeah, it's not a surprising thing. I mean, no. When you look at us in a whole, women put a lot of chemicals on our face and on our bodies every day. You're using lotion, you're using deodorant, you're using eyeliner, lipstick. Yep. Mascara, those are a lot of chemicals. So when you're looking at fibromyalgia coming from a lot of different sources, it don't have to necessarily be just a relaxer, because you're doing more applications to shampoo, eyeliner, lipstick, whatever you
Detergent.
use to make yourself
Detergent
beautiful.
on our clothes.
A term that you only get in 6 months out the year, you know. So I'm in my industry, I'm kind of like swaying with that because, even still you got your diehard want to wear a relaxer. I'm not going natural for nobody. Then you got the ones that just say, hey, I'm sick of it. I want to cut it all off. I'm sick of the look, just like Tiffany Haddish. She got tired and just did the big shave.
Wow, yes, she did.
I was about to do that again. And I said, well, let me think about this. Let me go on and put them braids back in until I figure out what I want to do. Because if I shave it, that's the point of no return. I got to wait till it grow back.
A point of no return.
Yeah, until you let it
Well,
grow.
at least not for a while.
It works for you. It looks very nice on you.
Okay,
Can I
Ms.
say
Corliss.
also, oh,
No, go.
I was
No,
kind of
speak.
to what Rhoda said. It blows my mind because we just don't talk about it enough, but even detergents, the exhaust from the car in front of us.
Absolutely.
We were talking about regulations with hair care products, but the same thing goes with our food. We're the only industrialized country that doesn't have strong legislation around
that part.
how we, labeling laws. You can really put anything in our food. And they serve as neurotoxins in our body. It blows my mind. And just real quick shout out to Dr. Rudy Byron. I'm going to see him Monday for my minerals and vitamins. I'm still counting that you said that. It's like I run out. I'm like, I need my probiotics.
Yes.
But I love functional medicine for that reason, because it's not just I'm going to give you this regimen because you're a female. It's I want to know about your lifestyle. What's your history? What's your family's history?
How much drinking do you do on the weekend?
Come on now. Preach.
That's a whole nother topic.
Yes.
That's a whole nother topic too, I'm sure.
But Corliss, I was about to ask you too. Just quick, what trial? I mean, what was the greatest? Can you say there's a great error that you made when you went natural? What did you do wrong that you saw that the biggest thing you did wrong?
I wish
you want to say you did it wrong.
I love that question. In hindsight, I wish I would have spoken first with stylists. I kind of got lost in the YouTube blogs, and everybody has an opinion that may or may not be helpful, but I really needed the foundational principles, like what's been discussed with Sonia and Rhoda, looking at porosity, density. I got so lost in that hair chart. I'm like, what am I, 4X, 3M? And it just threw me off.
Never know what
also,
it is.
I wish I would have big chopped sooner. I was emotionally ready, and I had voices around me saying, you're not going to like it. You're not going to be as pretty, to the point where I even went to my place of employment to prepare them. I said, I just want you to know, I'm going to cut my hair. And it was amazing to me that it was really the response from people of color that were a bit more negative initially than my counterparts, who were so incredibly supportive.
And white people embrace our natural hair better than we do.
Because they embrace theirs. They embrace theirs. Like, it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah,
It's
we
unique to
remind
them.
a lot of other Black women of what they want to do. I mean,
Yes.
each his own. We don't care. If you want to be natural, be natural. If you want to wear weave, wear weave. We don't care. We have the freedom to do what we want and support each other. No, nobody is a hair Nazi. You can't be natural if you are your hair is straight. You have to be natural and kinky curly. Nobody's doing that.
And that's
You have to be happy.
And that's what we have to do.
Yes.
Be happy. What we have to do is love ourselves. And that's the one thing we want to bring out. If we don't bring anything else out tonight, love yourself.
Amen.
Regardless of what anyone else thinks, and don't do it because of someone else. Do it because of you. This is what you want to do, and this is what you can live with. So do it because this is what I want. When I decided to go and do this, I did what I wanted to do. I didn't ask anyone. I didn't, I didn't decide, I'm going to go back with hair. I didn't, I made that choice. This is what I want to do. And so when people look at me and say, well, why is your hair short or whatever, it's because I want it to be short. I love this. I love what I'm doing, and I'm good with it, and I'm comfortable in my skin. You know,
Yes.
regardless of what anyone else thinks, I'm comfortable. So, you know, you just have to get that and be that. But as Maya Angelou has said in our prior introductions here, you all are phenomenal women. All of you all are. And I want to thank each and every one of you all for being here with us tonight. You all have done a marvelous job. I hope that everything was said and all the questions were answered in the chat, and that people will leave here, you know, with another conversation about hair, and then understand some things, and maybe they'll know where they can go to get some answers. So to our listening audience, I want to thank you again for being with us. I think, you know, you all make it just as big of a part as anything, because without you, then there's no need for us to be here. So we just hope that we turn out something that you can take away from this here. And we want to remind you again, follow AACPG Lake County on Facebook and Instagram. And remember, mask up, wash your hands, and keep your distance. Good night, and God bless you.
God bless you.
Thank
Good night,
you.
ladies. Everybody have a
Good night.
good one. Good night.
Good night.